I was talking about this physical model of a water filter. So this is not working, but what we have shown here, we have shown that the covering of the water filter will be like this. So if we are going to produce our final product, so outer shell will be like this or covering will be like this. So it is kind of visually complete prototype. It means we can visualize how our final product will look like. Next, we can use for the prototype proof of concept. So here what we see that there are various arrangements for water filter. So we can test their performance and we can be sure that this part subsystem, especially this part of the water filter is working. So if it is working in subcomponent level, then it will work also at the system level. That means there are hierarchy of the system. A smaller component, then it is assembled with another components, and you get the subcomponent, and subcomponents are assembled, and you get the system or complete product. So you call it as complete product as a system. There are subsystem, or complete product as a single part. Then there are sub parts. So here you are doing, actually you are analyzing the performance of this particular part component water filter, whether it is working or not. So if your concept is working, it means you have verified your concept. So generally when we talk about the rapid prototyping, so we see uh, the technology for rapid prototyping started at here 3D System Corporation. So rapid prototyping, in the definition term, we can call it as a group of techniques used to quickly fabricate a scale model of a part or assembly using three-dimensional computer aided design data. So here are group of techniques. It means there are various ways to make the part. Then quickly fabricate. It means we can make the part with the help of components or subcomponents. And third term is scale model. Scale model, it means if we are going to use scale model, if we are designing some bigger part like uh, aeroplane, then we can make scale model smaller, at smaller scale, that is at reduced size for our lab testing. And for example, if you are going to make a smaller part, very small size like 1 centimeter or 2 centimeter size parts, so you can also make those parts uh, at using the large scale. So in large scale can be used also, so that you can easily visualize. So first thing in the rapid prototyping is you need to have the CAD data or digital image, that we call it three-dimensional computer aided design data. So in first rapid prototyping technique, stereolithography technique was introduced, and it was developed by 3D System, that headquarters is at Valencia, California, USA. So company was founded in 1986, and since then number of different RP techniques have become available. So in around 1986 they formed a company, but around 1980s they were working on the rapid technology. Especially this technology, evolved around 1986 in the company, but they were working on the rapid prototyping with the help of NC machines and CNC machines. So rapid prototyping technology implies various engineering, obviously, various engineering, computer control and software techniques including laser, optical, scanning, photosensitive, polymer, material extrusion and deposition, powder metallurgy, etc. to directly produce a physical model layer by layer, that is called layer manufacturing in accordance with the geometrical data delivered from a 3D CAD model. So what we are doing here in the form of, there are first number of group of techniques, then there is the material aspect, and then there is a design aspect that we get the data from the computer. And what we are going to do, we are going to make the product by adding layers, so it is also called a layer manufacturing. So there are various engineering, computer control and software techniques. We will see these techniques: laser, optical scanning, photosensitive, polymer materials, all these techniques in coming slide. So here we will talk more deeply about a prototype. So in engineering terms, or especially in engineering product design department, a prototype is a preliminary version of the your concept or idea. So like what we are you have some idea and you are going to design it. So what will you do? You will sketch something, and then based on a sketch you will make some visual model that becomes a prototype for the engineering design product design. In the today's discussion we saw at the first the a prototype, that the outer covering of a water filter, that was a visually complete prototype, a physical model we can say, but it was not working. So a prototype allow engineers and designers the ability to explore design alternatives. It means it allows the engineers and designers that explore the design alternative. What are the various way you can manipulate your ideas? You can test your theories and confirm performance. It means there are a lot of variation you can do with a prototype. Like in previous water filter, suppose for example, uh, here here presently you see here like this, but what you can add here some deepness, so that you can easily put your glass here, or you can extend this part outside somewhat like this, so that you can dispense water from this side. So all this again you can else add here a group for handling purposes also. So all these experiments you can do with the prototype. That that is what it is being tell here. This is what it tells us, that it allows engineer and designer to able to explore various ideas, test theory and confirm performance prior to starting production of a new product. Obviously you cannot run production directly. You have to test. We have to explore the various design objectives. You have to meet the various you have to meet the various specification, test performance, and after that if everything is okay then you can go for the testing, final testing. So for here uh, now you see uh, here I will show you a demonstration, but before that we We see here this one indestructible tire. See, with this can run on any type of road, and there is no use of puncture of the tube. Okay, so and this one is pretty useful. Their designers are testing it. Another video I will add. Flying car demonstration, that was a designer had designed a car uh, that is that can run and fly as well. So I will add this video in slide. So next is prototypes can be used in different ways. So see the advantage of having the prototype. Why we are going for rapid prototyping? Reason is, uh, see, there is a in the global world, why we are going for the rapid prototyping, because the world is changing, customer requirements are also changing, and they are asking for different types, and same time need a company needs to remain in competitive in the market, and for that they need to evolve. They cannot design something and keep producing same thing. Obviously at the some point of time they have to change their design, otherwise present design, I am talking about the company, present design becomes obsolete, and some other company that comes up with some innovative idea, innovative design, they will take over the market. So the typical example I can give you, like for example Nokia around 2008 9, or say 10, yes, around 2009 10, Nokia has introduced touch screen, and they were using their own software. At same time the Android evolved, and they did not adapt to the Android, and what happens, within 2 years there was so much market for the Android that the Nokia got out of the market. And now since 2015 Nokia is trying to come back, but still not, still it has not gained the same reputation as it was having the earlier in early days. So that's why you need to evolve from time to time. So in that way, how the prototypes are going to use? Rapid, quickly, make it quickly. And how quickly it can be? It can be like 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, not more than 1 week. We cannot devote more than 1 week for for making the design uh, prototype. With the help of present technology, we are able to make it within hours, or say within minutes and hours. So in 2 hours or 3 hours we will have our prototype ready and we can use it. So that becomes the rapid prototyping. So prototypes helps us in different way. In proof of concept means we have some theories and we want to verify that whether it is working or not. We have some concept and we want to test it, so that can be used to test the concept. Then demonstration of presentation model prototypes, like only the visual aspect you want to show, you can show it with the, like I showed you in the outer covering, or 3D model of a, not 3D, physical model of a water filter. Then functional prototypes, it means sub components can be prepared and can be tested, and can be verified also. It means it is working or not. Same way, for example, generally prototype, a wind tunnel is used to test the strength of the wing. Like we can make a aeroplane model, and in the wind tunnel we can make aeroplane model, and in the wind tunnel we can test whether it is working or not. Yeah. Like functional prototype, we can check the strength, working away some part component, working of some component level in functional prototype. Then we have aesthetic or industrial design prototypes, like from the aesthetic look wise, it is looking attractive to eyes or not. Then we have industrial design prototype, like easy to assemble, disassemble, that can be included. Easy to handle, like I was talking about, to I can add some uh, hand gripper or some groove from both sides so that I can easily carry. In the case of water filter, then final factory sample, that means once you are this one, once you are ready with the prototype, so how will it look like? Complete, it is functional, complete in all aspect, and we can test on it. Then alpha and beta build prototype. Generally alpha prototypes are used to gain more information about unknown variables, and it is done inside the industry. Inside the industry, it means inside the designer, manufacturer, and this one beta build prototypes is kind of field testing. Here some users are selected and performance of the product is analyzed. So performance of product, it means performance of the prototype is analyzed, and still the system is not, plant is not ready for the mass production. After when the beta prototype confirms that we are meeting all the requirements, then you can go for the mass production. At beta stage, we produce only limited number of parts, but when we cross the beta stage, then we produce large number of parts, or large number in the sense mass production. So here see alpha prototype, in you see the it is test is done inside of the lab, then some insights, like compressor is working or not, pressure is working, compressor is able to maintain proper pressure or not, then water is coming filter or not, what is the hardness of impurity of the water, we can test it. And then beta prototype testing, like this one, here some users can be asked and check how they are, the water that we get from after purification, how the what is the taste of the water, they can be asked, you can demonstrate it. Again, see, this one is not final. See here, you don't see here, like you don't see, only visually complete and functional parts are included in beta prototype, but still it is not ready for the production. After the result of the beta production, if some modifications are required, then only we can go for the mass production. So beta services are included in the final production setup. So next is, what is the difference between rapid prototyping and 3D printing? So we see 3D printing or additive manufacturing, we call it generally 3D printing or additive manufacturing, is a manufacturing process, while prototype is the end result of the result, or the is this should be of the end result, sorry, while prototyping is the end result or end product. So what we do with the help of 3D prototyping, sorry, with the help of 3D printing or with the additive manufacturing technique, we are able to produce the prototype that is, see, I am going to tell you one simple fact, like when we talk about model and when we talk about the prototype. So in engineering term, prototype is necessarily a working model, but model is only, when we talk about model, it is not necessarily working, it should not be working necessarily. And when we include some working parts, it becomes prototype. So model is only for the visualization, and when we talk about its working, then it becomes prototype. So in now onwards, you can understand what is a model and what is a prototype. So actually, when we say prototype, we are talking some sense in the form of functionality. It means it is we can test some, we can perform some testing on the part, but on the model we cannot test it because our objective is to only the show the look like. Okay, and in prototyping we can perform the test, we can perform the functionality also. So with the help of 3D printing or say additive manufacturing, we are able to produce 3D part. That is the difference. So rapid prototyping, making the prototyping quickly, and techniques use either 3D or more precisely additive manufacturing. Furthermore, 3D printing on its own or in combination with the other process could be used to create rapid prototyping. Like I said, rapid prototyping, there are groups of techniques. So there are various techniques can be used to produce the parts. In earlier days, around 90s, 20s, only with the help of hand prototypes were made using the hands. It means a skilled person is there, and with the help of uh, material removal tool, he was making the prototype. But nowadays, with the help of uh, computers and softwares, with the help of CAD model, we are able to quickly make the prototype. And NC machine obviously, and with the help of 3D printing, it is more easy. So at present, why rapid prototyping is so important? So you can see competitive market is there. It means market is changing. You need to evolve. Companies need to evolve in their product. So day by day they are changing something in their products. Like you can, a company is there and it is making some chips like this, so they can make quickly make with the help of rapid prototyping or with the help of 3D printer. They can make this one is rapid RP parts, rapid prototype part. Again, this a cover or flower pot can be used again with the help of uh, 3D printing. See, there is two type. First is rapid prototyping, and what is used to make a prototype rapidly, that is 3D printing. So with the these cookies, so all these are the prototypes. And if you are able to quickly produce all these this all this pot, so we can test our customer feedback, and we can verify the which type of parts customer like most. So in that sense, if you are able to produce, if you are able to take the customer feedback quickly, we can gain some advantage in the competition. Next, since faster product development and technology innovation are the key to company success, rapid prototype becomes the most important element of a new product development, because generally if you don't use take help of the rapid prototyping, it will take weeks or month for the making the same model. And like this type of texture, it is not easily to make. And in the present market, even a 1 week or 2 days time is very important. Like I can tell you an example. There was a time America was going to launch 5G testing in USA, and when South Korea realized that USA is going to launch 5G, what they did, they quickly launched 5G service in their country. We 2 hours late before in that was scheduled to launch in US. that is in South Korea. They demonstrated 5G technology in South Korea before 2 hours. That was scheduled in US demonstration in the US for the demonstration. Okay, so that how they are able to do it with the help of rapid prototyping. With the help of rapid prototyping, they are able to make the some components. Obviously, there are some components, ready-made components, and they can make some other components with the help of 3D printing and then demonstrated it. Now, see this. A designer is interested in making this chair. So, with the help of 3D printing, designer can get the end product and text, and it can put, and customer can company can take it into the market and can take the customer feedback, and if the feedbacks are positive, that means company is whatever company has designed is okay, and then they can go for the production. And if there are some modification requires, like some customer can complain, like some customer can complain that like this one is not comfortable, these linings, so something can be done here, some modification can be done here. So it is kind of can be used for the beta testing. Then faster new product development. Prototypes plays a vital role in process of creating successful product because it speeds up the new product development process. How? Because with the help of rapid prototyping and 3D printing, what you are able to do, you are able to do whatever you are thinking. You are able to make the model quickly, and then you can test your concept, and then if it is okay, otherwise reject, or you can add. You can combine two or more concept in a single idea, and then single design, and then you can test the product also. So in this way, uh, RP with the help of 3D is helping the designer, a manufacturer, and company in many ways. Then early stage design concept validation of form, fit, and function of the design can be tested. Obviously, concept, form, look like, fit, what is the like when we are going for the assembly operation, so we can how we are going to assemble the again assemble the parts, and then functions can be tested with the help of prototype obviously. Then final state product verification against the technical requirements and business objective can be done. It means final state production verification, technical other whether we are able to meet the technical requirements like strength can be considered, like in water purification case, are we able to maintain the hardness of the water? Uh, is water purifier able to filter the water? Like this uh, can be the parameters for the verification for the water filter. And then business objectives, like it is economical to produce, how much amount needs to produce for the monetary benefit, what would be the customer feedback, that can be tested here. It allows functionality testing to test the objectives of the concept and to finalize the specification. It means if particular water purification is not performing, then it means your filters are not working, or you can test your filter. And what you are going to do? You are testing the functionality, water filter functionality here. And what is your objective? Objective to produce the clean water. So again, specification, there are some standards, some quantitative value against which you have to show your result. So for example, hardness should be under 150, that means that is specification. There should not be any bacteria inside the water, so that is another specification. Again, for example, take for your mobile phone. So your mobile phone has SAR value. Your mobile phone should not emit radiation more than this given SAR value that comes with the mobile phone. That means all the device should be compliance with the SAR value. That is the specification. If it is not able to meet, you can launch the product, but government or customer government will ban it, or customer will not purchase it, because there are some limitations. That's why some specifications are given. Then prototype gives the end user, client, customer, user participation, hands-on user experience to get feedback. Obviously, we can take it prototype in the previous slide. We saw that in the demonstration we have designed a innovative water filter, and customer can come and check the water, is it tasting good or not, although water does not have any kind of taste. So top priorities of companies for using 3D printing in 2000 versus 2020. Now you see acceleration of product development. When we talk about 3D printing, at 2015 it was 31%, now it is increasing. Offering customized products, in 2015 it was 26%, now it is 28%. Now enabling cooperation, earlier it was 9%, now it is 11%. Increasing product flexibility, it was 13%, now it is 16%. As the technology, 3D printed technology becomes gets more advanced, mature, we will have this graph from like this. It will go up and up, because in coming times, or in future, near future, at present, materials aspect is another limitation for 3D printing, but with the advancement in technology, we will be able to produce, we will able to use almost any kind of material. So next is advantage of rapid prototyping. So first, reduce design and development time. Obviously, with the help of parts, we can test it, so that helps in reducing design and development time. Then reduce overall product development cost. We can estimate the total product cost. We can estimate the total material requirement. Sorry. And based on that, we can estimate our cost, and we can check it is and where we can reduce it. Then elimination of reduction of risk. So since we are checking the product with the help of prototype at each stage, so there is a less chance of failure. Next, allow functionality testing. Obviously, improved and increased user environment, since user feedbacks are involved, so user involvement is also there. Ability to evaluate human factors and ergonomics. Obviously, with the 3D model, physical model, we can evaluate how the humans feels about this one, handling or look like. We can aesthetic aspect we can see here. Next is disadvantage of rapid prototyping, lack of accuracy. Present because we focus more on functionality rather than accuracy. So design is not up to mark. So that one disadvantage accuracy. Then added initial cost, but this added initial cost cover up when you are going for the testing because you are validating some uh, you are validating some concept, so you are actually reducing the failure. So if you fail at the later stage, it will cost you more than if you fail at initial stage. But that's why, although some initial cost is there, but that is insignificant compared to the uh, when failure occurs at later stage. Some rapid prototyping processes are still expensive and not economical. Obviously, there are some materials that are not very easily available, and again, they are costly. Materials property like surface finish and strength cannot be matched. Obviously, present with the help of print technology with the 3D printing technology, that cannot be matched. Match in the sense the parts printed with the help of 3D technology, 3D printing technology are having somewhat lower strength, and also we don't get the that much smoothness that we get in common manufacturing process. Then again, requires skilled labors. Generally, it requires skills labor, but it also does not require skills labor. Why I'm saying, like, where do you need? Obviously, you need to give some sort of training, but otherwise, that very high skill is not required. Once you are having 3D printing, your machine is ready, then only requirement designing the parts. And if with the help of some training, parts can be anyone can be design the parts, anyone can design again with the online, there are ready-made design parts are there, you can import it and quickly produce it. So that is debatable. Require skilled labor, at what level you are considering skilled requirement, or you are ignoring it. But some sort of skill required, but not that much high skill required here. The range of material that can be used is limited. At present, it is limited, but in future time, other technology becomes more advanced, we will able to use more materials. Next, insufficient analysis. Obviously, what happens when you totally focus on prototype? What happens if focus on limited prototype can distract developers from properly analyzing the complete project? It means once you are having the physical model, you don't explore more. Your insight is limited. So for that, the insufficient analysis comes. The potential end result, a potential overlooking of the better solutions in complete specification, or the conversion of limited prototype into poorly engineered and developed final project that are hard to maintain. It means we should use the prototype, but with same time we need to use our intelligence also. We should not be blindly trust on the prototype that we neglect the important features. Then end user confusion, customer mistaking it or for the final, for the finished project developer, misunderstanding of user objectives, all are included in the rapid prototyping. Like their user cannot understand you on a thing when you demonstrate it. Sometimes user can be confused. So for that, there are customer mistakes can be included in the So there would be, so customer can, uh, whatever you are showing it, customer can mistook it, mistakenly, so individual confusion, some user might confuse with the product, they make some mistake, and what happens, they actually, why it is customer mistaking, like in 3D printing we don't get smooth surfaces, but when we show it that our product will look like what they will feel, that it is not a smooth surface, and so they will get confused, and then they will think that the final product will be having this waviness surfaces. So that is the case. Then we have traditional manufacturing process versus additive manufacturing. What happens in traditional manufacturing process, we remove the material from the block, and in additive manufacturing, what we do, we add layer on layer. So we are going to add layer on layer, so it becomes additive, and this one subtractive. Additive manufacturing refers to the process by which digital 3D design data is used to build up a component in layers by depositing material. The term 3D printing is increasingly used as a synonym for additive manufacturing. However, the latter is more accurate in that it describes a professional production techniques which clearly distinguish from the conventional method of material removal. So instead of saying 3D printing, we can call it additive manufacturing. So next is difference between conventional machining and rapid prototyping. In conventional machining, what we do, produce a model by removing material by bit. Then rapid prototyping, produce a model by adding material layer by layer. So it is case of AM. Then subtraction process, this one addition process, because we are adding layers. Then scope is limited, scope is unlimited. Comparison of non additive manufacturing process, rapid prototyping, and digitally optimized product design and development process. So here we see non-traditional, what happens, product design and development team is there, then manufacturing department is there, and then in product what we get here. Rapid prototyping, we make the 3D model on computer, and then what happens, with the help of uh, group of technology, we are able to produce this rapid prototyping, more precisely in this term. What we are eliminating here, design one on the 2D paper, but here we are making 3D design on the software with the help of computer, and then transfer it on machine, and this machining, after machining we get this one. But digitally optimized design, where this one 3D printing comes, additive manufacturing technology plus additive manufacturing machines. So we have here this one design part, and here machine part, that is 3D machine, and we are able to produce almost any kind of part. So what is the principle of rapid prototyping? In rapid prototyping, especially involves in 3D printing in these five stages. First, in rapid prototyping, a CAD model is prepared, that is computer design is prepared, and then we convert it .stl file, then what we do, that is a part of the software, the STL format that we convert it slices the STL file into the thin cross section layer, then construct the model one layer at top, another, clean and finish the model. So these are the 5 steps involved. So workflow of rapid prototyping process in 3D printing. CAD model is here, solid modeling, then pre-processing generate.stl file, file format like generate .stl, the STL for stereolithography .stl file. Then in that build supports if needed and slicing is done. After that, RP process uses to rapid prototype process like 3D printing, build prototype, and then after you need to do post processing like remove supports, clean the surface, post cure, and part complete and ready for testing. Next, why is AM such a big deal now? Because we discussed it. Additive manufacturing can be used almost any field. So wide availability of CAD/CAM software. Next, improved automation component technology. Automation, we have uh, some sufficient advancement in automation, and with the help of technology we can use the positioning system, and with the help of positioning system we can use the parts more precisely, more accurately. Growing library of printable materials, it is growing. So still at present materials is limited, but it is growing. We are including more material day by day. Major industry and government investment, because the there is a less amount of material involved and it is very quick. So every industry and government is spending in their R&D, like you are going to study only for that reason that government is spending. Governments wants to enhance your knowledge so that in future you are ready to for the challenges in future skills. Then freedom to operate enabled by patent expiration. After when the patent is expired, you are able to use this. So that's why momentum, confidence, and creative vision you can include it. So in sorry, aeroplane components can be made like this one, uh, very opening and closing of the wheels, and exhaust. This one is for exhaust, and then you can test the various model. Then you can 3D print a shoes. Then you can make Airbus component. Then Aston Martin, that was Skyfall. The outer part was made from the 3D printing. Skyfall movie, James Bond series. Then there are different types of materials. This one, air vent, we can made and install it inside our body. Now another example, can we make this with common machining process? Yes, this could be machined, but it is sometimes consuming. What if you are able to produce directly without machining? Then there was, see, these are two examples that with the help of uh, 3D printing they have made this one, a hip implant cup that is used in the hip. So this one they have made it. See the shining surfaces. First they have made it, and after cutting and polishing, so the structure looks like this. When you cut around along this is the structure, and after machining, the smooth surface we can get. And here that is using This one, this especially Sophia 3D printed model can be made. This was recently in news, that is Istanbul, Turkey, Hagia Sophia. So, but earlier it was church, but now it has become mosque. So, what is manufacturing? Something different from the 3D printing. Convert manufacturing is converting raw materials into finished product by use of manual labor or machinery. Tangible inputs. It means we are making some product that we can touch it. In a more limited sense, manufacturing also denotes the fabrication or assembly of components into finished product. Obviously, there are some parts and we are joining them, fabricating them, so it becomes manufacturing also, but in limited sense. In general terms, take raw material, perform some process, get finished product, you have manufactured something. Then mechanical, physical or chemical transformation of material substance or components into new products as well as assembly of the components parts of manufactured products is called as manufacturing. Manufacturing. It means mechanical, physical or chemical transformation is required in manufacturing. Then what is production? So when we talk about production, it involves the manufacturing plus economics. So refers to the conversion of inputs including raw materials, obviously, and partially finished product into finished products. More importantly, production is the broader term that encompasses the financial activity of the company as well as other non-tangible elements. Here, what are the non-tangible elements? Like your knowledge is non-tangible. So, in manufacturing, knowledge is used how to make low-cost part, to reduce the wastage. So, in that sense, production is wider terms in terms of manufacturing in comparison to manufacturing. So, it involves economics also. So, non-tangible is also involved in production while only tangible items are involved in manufacturing. And so, here we see the difference. So, manufacturing only converts tangible items such as raw materials and finished product. In comparison, production converts all type of input into finished products. While production may convert raw materials and partially finished product into finished product, it may also convert money, credit, and labor into finished product. Like skill enhancement is also a part of production, but it cannot be termed as a manufacturing. What is fabrication? In the fabrication, what we use standard or substandard parts, and we join them, assemble them. That becomes fabrication. Fabrication is the process of constructing products by combining typically sub or standardized parts using one or more individual process. For example, steel fabrication is the production of metal structure using a range of processes such as cutting, bending, assembling, or you can also include welding, cutting, bending, assembling, welding, joining can be used. When I say joining it to welding is automatically included. So any method, that range of processes comes under the fabrication. So actually what you are doing here, you are having the part 1 already made part 1, part 2, and then either they are substandard parts and then you join them with the help either with the help of glue or rivets, nut bolt, or with welding like this. So actually what we are doing, you are doing fabrication of the parts. So here I am finishing all these. I hope you will get some knowledge. Thank you.